Hey everyone, Tim Meyer here. First of all, huge shout out to Sadie Hartman for putting this together, this Celebrate Horror Weekend. Really excited to be a part of it. So thank you, and also happy birthday because I believe you said it was your birthday. So happy birthday. I will be reading from my newest novel, Dead Daughters, which came out last month through Poltergeist Press. So really excited about it. Gonna read a few pages, and yeah, there's no setup, nothing you really need to know other than it's a book about a family who receives a mysterious letter in the mail. So I'm gonna jump right in. After watching them drive off, I remembered Eve had asked me to bring in the mail. I jogged across the lawn, went over to the mailbox, and retrieved the small pile of bills, coupon clippers, and local advertisements. A few birthday cards from some of Eve's distant relatives were mixed in with the junk, and I organized the pile on my way to the front door. There was only one envelope that caught my eye, one without anything on it, just a blank envelope, a white face of mystery. It was thick, and I could tell there was something inside that wasn't paper. It wasn't a note or a traditional letter. Definitely not a greeting card, not even a small one. It almost felt like a business card, but larger, folded. My curiosity was piqued, but it didn't make its way to the top of the pile. The birthday cards were first. Even at 38, birthday mail still excited me the same way it did when I was 11. Eve said that was because I'm a child at heart, and I couldn't really disagree with her logic. I sat at the kitchen table, shredding open my birthday cards, stripping them the gift cards and checks, and setting them on the table in a separate pile, making sure to note on a separate piece of paper who gave what so I could send proper thank you cards back. When I was done, only one envelope remained, the blank one. Time to see who the mystery mailer is, I said aloud, though I hadn't meant to. What was that, hon? Eve called from the sink. She was elbow deep in dishwater, scrubbing vigorously. I had offered to help since she'd done so much already, but she told me I was forbidden to touch dishes on my birthday, that it was a sin in Casa de Lowry. And who was I to argue? Nothing, babe, I said. Nothing at all. I tore into the envelope and pulled free the small Polaroid photo, which had been creased and stuffed inside, packed tightly to fit. I unfolded it and flipped it over. As my eyes settled on the image, my stomach sunk, dropping to my toes. I hesitated, tried to catch my breath, but it seemed to get stuck halfway up my windpipe. Time froze, or seemed to. The whole world slowed to a crawl. Such an inert pace I could literally hear nothing. Not even the sloshing water from the sink as Eve continued with the dishes. Not the ceiling fan, not the distant voices coming from the television in the next room. I heard nothing save for my own heartbeat drumming in my ears like a marching band bass drum. But even that sounded muted, distant, barely there at all. I tried to speak, but my mouth was too dry and cottony. Felt like my jaw had been wired shut. No word sounded past my lips, just a small articulation, the faintest noise the world had ever produced. Did you say something, hon? Eve asked, spinning her head toward me, her hand still working beneath the dishwater. Hun? My mouth hung agape. I could feel the walls within, and my tongue drying out like the desert sand. Words were being made there somewhere, but I had no voice behind it. No air. I felt like someone had clubbed me in the nuts, and the sensation ascended to my throat like the counter on one of those carnival mallet-smashing strength tester games. I must have had quite the look on my face because Eve dropped the dish in the sink and scurried over to the kitchen table, a look of shock and surprise hijacking her features. Honey? What is it? What's wrong? You look like you've seen a... Ghost was the word my wife was looking for. A ghost. I imagined it had looked like I'd seen one. And in a strange way, I had. We both looked down at the photograph, terrified, hearts racing in unison. We looked down at the picture of our daughter, our only child, our entire world, and she was dead. Before the room began to spin, Eve screamed. Chapter 2. The race upstairs wasn't much of a contest, and I beat Eve to our daughter's room by about 3 strides. Bursting through the door shoulder first, I stumbled inside and flipped the lights on. Dinah bolted upright as if launching herself out of a bad dream. Her lungs seized, and she let out a hindered scream, which sounded a lot like a printer paper jam. Immediately, she began to hyperventilate. I couldn't find the strength to cross the bedroom and rush to her side, but Eve was already there, rubbing her back and whispering words of encouragement into her ear. Eve turned to me. Get her inhaler. She's having an attack. I nodded and scurried back out into the hall. Sprinting down the hallway, I could only think about the picture depicting my daughter sitting there, blood pooling beneath her body and stone cold dead. I was so lost in the image that I almost skipped past the bathroom. Ducking inside, I went for the cabinet above the sink. Quickly rummaging through the collection of medical supplies, I located one of my daughter's inhalers, snatched it off the bottom shelf, and made my way back down the hall. Here, I said, handing it to my wife. She administered 3 puffs of air and told Dinah to breathe slowly and allow the miracle mist to open her up. Dinah did as her mother instructed, like she'd done 1,000 times before. 10 minutes later, she calmed down, resumed regular breathing patterns, and rested her head on my wife's lap. What happened? Dinah asked, her first word since our intrusion. I looked to Eve. She shook her head. Nothing, sweetheart, I said. We thought we heard a noise coming from your room. It was the best lie I could come up with on the fly, albeit not a sound one. It didn't explain why we busted in here like the DEA at a meth lab. But to a 7-year-old, it made little difference. She wouldn't ask questions. Would she? What kind of noise? Her small frame trembled. Eve ran her fingers across her scalp. A bad noise, honey. We thought you fell out of your bed or something. But I'm fine. Yes, you are. Tears streamed down my wife's face. Yes, you are. Gonna stop there. So, again, like I said, Dead Daughters, out now. Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, wherever you can find books on the internet. Out through Poltergeist Press. I also have copies available, signed copies available on my website. So you can go to timmeyerwrites.com and then click on store, and they're all there available for you. So that's it. Thank you again, Sadie, for inviting me to this, and have a great one.